What's going on YouTube? So this week, EA released the first trailer for NCAA 14, a game that I'm extremely excited about after how great NCAA 13 was. Probably the best football game ever made, in my opinion, to be quite honest. I absolutely loved NCAA 13, and even though I'm nearly 40 years old, I always get really excited for any kind of EA football news. The news so far out for this year's game is mostly regarding the running game and the advanced control of your running back by allowing juke and truck stick type moves that we've seen in years past, but also by the sounds of it, doing away with the auto sprint as the default option and now allowing you to take control of your running back's speed either once you hit the hole or to get in the open field. They're making it seem like the speed burst is going to be a greater advantage than it has been in years past. Now with that, they also announced that your player will have an energy bar similar to what you see in NFL Blitz. So that's pretty interesting. So if you're holding turbo too long or using the speed burst option too often in consecutive plays, you're going to notice a huge fatigue difference. Now, I do know that they've messed around with fatigue and tried to make it more of a factor in years past. And who knows if they're going to get it right this time. But I do know that when it comes to sports video games, fatigue is honestly probably the hardest thing to truly emulate. Also, unlike last year, NCAA 14 will have the real-time physics engine, and I know this is a sore subject with a lot of people, and I can totally understand why. I actually preferred NCAA to Madden in this past year just due to the fact that NCAA didn't have real-time physics. But that said, I'm actually glad that they're going in that direction, and I do personally understand that it's going to take time to get it right. For NCAA 14, they've said that there's not going to be any more tripping over your players or run plays where you can't even get past your own offensive line or even seeing silly animations of people tripping over each other after the play is over. So if that is in fact the reality of this new version of real-time physics, I think people are going to be very happy with the outcome. We had 1 year to test it out in Madden, and I think any improvements they can make on that is going to make it much, much better. Now, EA also announced a couple other things this week for NCAA that got me really excited, like a quote that flat out said, "The hit stick is back." And it talked about not only how the hit stick is back, but how there's a lot of bone-crushing hits in this year's game. And I've always been a huge fan of the hit stick, and I'm definitely excited for that. They also revealed that the hurry-up offense has changed. So this is a big one for NCAA. It's been the same way for quite a while. In the past, you could come out in a 4 wide receiver set and use the hurry-up offense. And, you could access your entire playbook while you're running hurry-up. And then you could choose a formation with 2 wide receivers, a fullback, a running back, and a tight end. And you could throw passes to your speedy wide receiver that's actually lined up in the fullback position. Or, for instance, now when you run hurry up, you're only going to have access to similar sets of the original play that you called. So if you come out in a 4 wide receiver set, when you hurry up, instead of having access to your entire playbook, you're now only going to have access to sets that fit the personnel of the original play called. There's not going to be any plays available out of I form or Maryland I or things like that. Now, I'm sure you could do that, for one of your 5 stock audibles, the ones of the 5 that you choose. But as far as running a hurry-up offense and coming out in 4 wide and then audibling down to, halfback slam out of Maryland I, that is not going to be an option this year. So there's still room to get really creative in an arcadey type sense with your 5 audibles, most likely. But they're going to limit that, which I think a lot of people are going to be happy with. It's going to make offense less powerful, but NCAA offense is going to be fun no matter what. There's a lot of different formations to choose from, and the way that they do custom playbooks is absolutely beautiful. I love that, and I really hope that they put that in Madden this year. But anyway, all I know is I can't wait for NCAA 14. If you're someone that plays NCAA 14, definitely leave me a message here, and maybe when the game comes out, we'll get a couple games in. So anyway, I'll be back at you guys with some Madden 13 tips coming up. I know I've done a lot of more news stuff recently. It's just because it's getting to that time of year where, tips, people aren't really playing the game as much. People know a lot of stuff. So I'm trying to get, series going of like Ask Madden Mondays, Q&A Day Wednesdays, and trying to keep up with some news. But the tips are definitely still going to be coming. I just want you guys to know that. But it is that time of year where things do slow down. So if you're kind of wondering what's been happening, don't unsubscribe. Make sure that you subscribe because we are going to have a lot of stuff coming forward. I do promise that, especially when NCAA 14 comes out. I am going to have so much stuff for NCAA 14. I literally cannot wait for that game. Anyway, you guys have a good weekend.